Well, my body's broken, and I guess it was just born this way, and I'll have to deal with this for the rest of my life. You might have heard someone say that if they suffer from things like chronic illness, mysterious health struggles, gut problems, or even autoimmune conditions. And it's not just adults who are affected by these kinds of things, it's also children as well. More and more children are dealing with chronic illness. And if you've gone down this path, either for yourself or for your child, or know someone who has, then you've probably heard the stories of going down the entire conventional medicine route, going down the entire natural functional medicine route, slew of medications, herbal supplements, natural remedies, homeopathic remedies, minerals, salts, oils, everything, all to the avail of listening and hearing once again, clean up the diet, decrease the symptoms, control the flare ups. But to what success? Maybe little, maybe none. And you're stuck there thinking, what am I missing? Where do I go from here? If the nervous system controls everything, which it does, then where's the disconnect between the nervous system and the immune system? And we see it here at Flow Life all the time, where the subtle signs of things like colic, reflux, and constipation are going to be the things that show the nervous system is at a state of fight or flight, of chronic stress, of protection. And that's going to grow into ear infections. They're going to need antibiotics. And then we've got asthma, we've got allergies, we've got constant colds, constant other infections, which can grow further into ADHD, going to croup, going to other respiratory problems, anxiety. And eventually, you might end up at a juvenile arthritis or even a PANS-PANDAS case. Sadly, we've seen that many kiddos, and there's research behind this, who are exposed to multiple rounds of antibiotics before the age of 2 have a much higher likelihood of experiencing things like allergies, asthma, eczema, and even autoimmune conditions. So, where does the nervous system fall into play here? Well, first off, we want to look at the two branches of the nervous system. We've got the gas pedal, we've got the brake pedal. The brake pedal is going to consist of our vagus nerve. Vagus nerve is that rest and digest. That's the growth regulation aspect. It's controlling the immune system. It's making sure everything is coordinated. It connects the brain to the heart, the lungs, the gut, and the immune tissue. So think of it like air traffic controller, making sure everything is coordinated and accounted for. Now, the immune system is very much controlled by the vagus nerve too. The vagus nerve has a function referred to as the cholinergic anti-inflammatory pathway. And what that means is the vagus nerve is sensing all these different things. It can actually sense when inflammation is getting too high. So when it gets too high, that signal is sent down vagus up to the brain, and vagus exits right at that cranial nerve exit right here, just below the base of the skull at the top of the neck, what we call the upper cervical. So it sends that signal to the brain, sends it back into the body, and it's going to release acetylcholine into the spleen. And the spleen is now going to have acetylcholine in it that binds to immune cells, and that's going to decrease the secretion of molecules such as TNF, which is tumor necrosis factor, and interleukin 1 or IL-1. This is therefore going to control the inflammation, and now we're not running it out of control. So, why is this so important? Well, the vagus nerve controls inflammation. So therefore, if inflammation in the immune system is running out of control, okay, where is the disconnect for vagus nerve? There are more research studies showing that stimulation of the vagal nerve has the ability to decrease gut and intestinal inflammation. So, how do we get this interference in the first place? Well, we look at what's called the perfect storm here at Flow Life. It starts out with the perinatal stress that a kiddo might experience. As mom experiences more stress, that's going to be more cortisol in her nervous system, more fight or flight tendencies, and that's going to be passed on to kiddo because kiddo's role model for the nervous system is mom. So kiddo's already leaning towards that fight or flight tendency. This puts a mom at a higher likelihood of experiencing birth interventions, such as, but not limited to, inductions, epidural, antibiotics, forceps, vacuum, manual extraction, even potentially a C-section. Now, when all those extraction methods are used on a kiddo, guess what? The head is being used. The head is being used to create the most force to get them out of the system, get them out of mom, and therefore all that physical mechanical stress is going towards that brainstem, towards that vagus nerve, causing that physical dysregulation very early on in life. Vagus nerve, rest, digest, regulate, all those important things for a healthy baby to grow. Brainstem, responsible for heart rate, blood pressure, breathing, sleep, digestion, eating, you name it, all the jobs of a baby that early on. So this is where it leads up into a baby having a very traumatic birth, going into and growing into colic, reflux, constipation, going into ear infections, going into asthma, constant colds, eczema, even all those things, and it just keeps growing on because the nervous system is now stuck in a state of dis-ease. It's in that fight or flight state, that chronic stress state where the immune system is not prioritized. It's going to run out of control because vagus nerve is offline. It's got that interference not letting it communicate to the rest of the body. So we're stuck in a state of protection, not a state of growth. And there's no regulator or modulator to now control the immune system. So why do supplements not solve the whole problem? Well, the nervous system is the foundation of it all. So if you build a house, for example, you can put the most beautiful things inside this house, all the gadgets, all the decorations, you name it. If your foundation is faulty, everything's going to shift. So all the herbal supplements or medications, the outside-in approach that you might be taking is all trying to support a dysregulated nervous system. So it's got the best intention possible, but the foundation isn't there to use those extra helpers to the highest degree. So how does neurologically focused chiropractic care help this case? Well, research has shown that 12 weeks of chiropractic adjustments had the ability of increasing brain adaptability and decreasing biological markers such as TNF and interleukin 6, which are super important and very much central around autoimmune conditions. Therefore, when you see a decrease in those markers, you start to see the vagus nerve come back online and control the inflammation once again. Now, by no means do we treat the autoimmune condition, do we treat gut issues and this and that. We address the interference, the subluxation in your neurospinal system, allowing your nervous system to get back to that state of peace and ease, functioning at its highest level possible, therefore becoming regulated again. That allows other things to come in and therefore be of more use. But it starts with getting that foundation correct. There might be a need to co-manage with other providers in this case, depending on the severity. But we, as chiropractors here at Flow Life, we treat the subluxation, we take care of the subluxation, we remove it, we take care of you, and therefore other things downhill the nervous system can be taken care of as well. So, a dysregulated nervous system. How the heck do we see that? Well, we got our fantastic scans here at Flow Life. Our Insight scanner allows us to put that dysregulated nervous system into a picture for you. It starts with the HRV. The HRV is going to show us, are we gas dominant? Are we brake dominant? Can't be in protection and growth mode at the same time. So where are we in terms of the balance between the nervous system? How much energy do we have? Do we have a lot of energy? Do we have a little bit of energy? The nervous system that's super exhausted doesn't have a whole lot of energy to regulate, rebuild, and restore itself. So where are you at in care right now? Next, we move into the neurothermal. The neurothermal is going to be super important for showing the function of organ systems, of glands, of hormones, especially the immune system. It shows us where there is very granular exhaustion in the entire neurospinal system. And it also tells us where there might be lots of disarray, lots of confusion amongst certain areas, especially up in that vagus nerve. That's going to be in the upper cervical region. Finally, we talk about the EMG, and the EMG shows us stuck spinal stress and tension within the nervous system, rotation, asymmetry, things that are just trying to lock down and protect the entire system. Because once again, if we are stuck in that protection mode, there's no chance of us to have growth mode. So what does this mean for you? If this is you, if this is your child or someone you know, share this video with them. Share with them this information of how neurologically focused chiropractic can help get them back to a regulated state and therefore allow them to start moving in a direction where they're not just trying to avoid the next flare up, but they're able to get back into life and thrive the way they want to, the way they deserve to. So, if you know someone, if you are this person, if your kid is this person, get signed up for a scan today. Let's get you scanned. Let's get you on a neurologically focused care plan. Let's get you back to a balanced nervous system so that you can heal the way that we were designed to heal, and everything else that we either co-manage with or add in to this healing process works to an even higher degree. I'm Dr. Noah of Flow Life Chiropractic, serving the greater Eldersburg, Maryland area, and I can't wait to meet you soon. If you liked all this stuff, make sure you click the link below to get signed up. Make sure you follow, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.